I worked for the Afiya Trust from about 1999 to 2008. And I went there as a coordinator of the National Black Carers Network, and when I left I was the CEO.
Peter Scott Blackman, what a guy, credible guy, inspirational guy. I remember first meeting him in the mid-1990s when we were working around black carers issues, and we thought this is the person that can take forward our work with London Black Carers. And we gave him a simple task to begin with, just compile a directory of black carers organisations across London so we knew who was who and where they were based. One thing with Peter, you always get more than what you bargain for. So we ended up not just getting a directory, he gave us a complete analysis of the black carers issues across the capital, what the organisations were, the issues they were working around, the challenges they were facing, the different considerations you have to take into account when you're dealing with black carers in terms of faith and culture. He went so beyond the remit, brilliant stuff, that we realised we couldn't just publish this thing, we had to launch it properly, get this thing out there.
Paul Boateng, who had become the minister, actually launched it for us. Encouraged that there was a need for a national organisation to do this work rather than just a London-based organisation. So we developed it within Afiya. We were also able to see the direction that the funding within Afiya was going and the fact that it was hemorrhaging money like mad. And so I said, OK, we've got 3 months. Do you mind if I do a bit of fundraising now? I picked up the telephone, started making contacts and phoned all the contacts that I had. And we raised £90,000 within 2 months.
Maverick, passionate, non-judgmental, caring, an artist, a sculptor, a musician, a techie, but most and foremost, a really incredible and inspirational leader, somebody who was unapologetic about unapologetic in his desire to really advocate for the health and well-being of the BME community.
I was brought up in a communist family, and I've seen all the revolutions, you know, and appreciated how illiterate people became literate in a short space of time, how starving people became starving in short spaces of time, historically, in different countries. And through that kind of influence, and also I suppose through a certain almost churchy, my father was trained to be a priest, and he went to Africa as a missionary and came back a communist leader. They say that if a child is separated from their parents or from a secure family relationship, they're going to have problems. Mental stability is going to be challenged. I was evacuated probably at the age of 2 to Yorkshire, to a miner's family, so I was separated from my family there. Came back to London, and in 1946, just after the war, I was sent off to Glasgow. So second separation from my parents. I was bullied in Glasgow. Anyway, enough said. Came back to London, but I didn't come back home. I went straight into a children's home in South Woodford. This is because you're asking about mental health and how Afiya got involved in mental health. I realised things were not going where I wanted to go. I wanted to go there, but things were going over here somewhere. No matter what I did, I didn't seem to be able to get things to go straight. So I went to the doctor. The doctor said, you need to go to a hospital, a mental hospital. I was there for 4 months, came home at weekends, and it was like going to university. That's all I can say. It was 24 hours, 7 learning. When I was at Afiya, I related to that experience and the large numbers of young black people who were getting into mental health difficulties. And I could relate directly to my own experience. And so I said, well, we have to do something about it. We can't just sit and watch this happening.
Peter was really at the forefront of arguing and of negotiating and of coming to some sort of understanding sometimes. And this is what impressed me. You know, I see that the award is for making a difference, and Peter certainly did make a difference. His views were very firm. He presented these very firmly, but he also had this capacity to somehow understand the other person's point of view, and or rather more than point of view of where they came from, where the politicians came from, where the establishment came from, and so managed to get things done.
I'm a great agreeer for whatever, you know, of walking a mile in someone else's shoes to understand where they're coming from.
One of the many things I learned from him was his own commitment to his family. When I met Peter, I didn't have any kids. I've now got 3 sons. He's got even more than that. And how it is that he will put in the hours that are required to achieve the change that he's seeking to bring about, but not at the expense of his family. He'll still be there for his family, and you know he's someone who's very rooted in his family. And actually, I remember when I first met one of his sons, I felt like I was looking in the mirror. He looked like me too. So I really related to that. And now, as a father of 3 myself, I work pretty hard. I think I retain a strong commitment around the issues, but I don't do that in a way that neglects my family, because as Peter's taught me, that's ultimately where we need to stay strong as a community. So again, another bit of wise words from Peter Scott Blackman.
You know, the old-fashioned Pinocchio type movies, there's always an old man who makes things. Well, I kind of had this fantasy that maybe I would be kind of like one of those people, an old man who made things and played with his grandchildren and made things with them, which I've tried to do as much as I can, you know, within the few years of my retirement. So I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed my grandchildren very much, and my family. I've really sort of withdrawn into family, and yeah, I've enjoyed that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very, very much, and also on behalf of Afiya to also congratulate you on your 70th birthday as well. And thank you very much for sharing with us an incredible historical insight that's invaluable, and having it captured will mean that it will be, as you say, something we can share with many generations and many people. And it's important that we do so we do still understand ourselves and our journey and our history. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the trouble to come and see me.